Okay, so it seems like recently there's been a little bit of a situation going down with a VTuber who you guys might know being MiiaTzu. I think I say it was Tzu, or whatever you want to call it, right? But essentially, there's been a tweet that has come out that has been discussing VTuber Artist, which obviously is a very common topic within the VTubing space. But she recently ended up getting refused for a commission that she wanted, right? And essentially saying, so you're going to decline my request because I don't have the same think. There goes a close $5,000 you could have earned, but you decided to be unprofessional. So yeah, obviously, if you don't know, Mia has been very, very, in the news and stuff, for her opinions about different things, for example, like trans stuff and all of this, stuff for extra context, right? But essentially, yeah, obviously a lot of people weren't too happy with that, and there was a lot of drama at the time, and of course a lot of people in the VTubing space know about that, right? Including obviously this artist here, who essentially responded to this commission, knowing it was her, obviously, and saying, "Thank you so much for your interest in my work. I really appreciate the support, but I won't be able to accept your commission due to a conflict of ideals. Have a wonderful life." So yeah, obviously they turned down a request, as it says, from $200, but they say actually it's close to $5,000 this commission was, which obviously that's a lot of money to turn down over someone that you don't agree with, just based on their opinions, right? Which again, obviously I think that every artist is free to refuse kind of service and whatever, but I think some people are kind of unhappy at how they handled it and whatever, which I think is the main source of the issue here, right? People saying everyone has the right to refuse service regardless of their reasoning. Their reasoning here is fine, but I just wouldn't have said anything like that, or just went, unfortunately, I won't be able to accept your commission, or something a little bit more professional. This just kind of serves to offend and confuse the consumer, which, yeah, I think obviously the added information wasn't exactly really needed. I think all you really need to do to prevent any kind of conflict or whatever in the future is just to say, thank you for your interest. I won't be able to do it, right? That's literally it. You don't have to add it like the due to the conflict of ideals, have a wonderful life, and that kind of emoji at the end and everything like that, right? Obviously this person saying, I've never seen someone turn down 200 over something so stupid, as we don't agree on literally everything, so no thank you. And obviously Mia says it was a good 400 plus, so it wasn't just 200, it was 400 plus apparently that they turned down, which for an artist is a lot of money. And as we know, a lot of artists are currently struggling with money and stuff like that. Now I don't know if this artist in particular is, maybe they're fine and they've got tons of commissions, so this one doesn't really matter to them. But of course, there's been so much talk surrounding like AI and things as well, which has kind of creeped into this conversation too, because people are saying refusal of service isn't inherently unprofessional, but the only unprofessional part here is the cow emoji. The choice of words here are completely professional. It's actually justified for expressive or creative works to refuse ideals they disagree with. And obviously Mia says, it's okay to decline a request and they can do that, it's fine. It's a problem when you're going to decline it because of a difference of opinions that has nothing to do with the artwork itself. It's their side job, and they're taking opportunities away from them because of this, which I think that, yeah, 100% they are missing out on opportunities. I think that this person, obviously, if they want to grow as an artist, again, I don't know how big they are, or whether they already are like established or whatever, but say for example you're a growing artist and this happens, it wouldn't really make much sense to kind of decline it, because that's a lot of money, and that's a lot of progress, right? But obviously I can also understand maybe the side of, if they don't really want to associate with Mia for some stuff that she said or whatever, which is fine. Obviously it's like a difference in opinion or whatever, but maybe they don't want to be like known as like, because lots of artists tend to get dragged whenever it comes to like they worked on a VTuber's model or whatever, so they're like, oh, you support this VTuber because you made art for them, and then they tend to get like lambasted on Twitter, right? Which of course shouldn't be the case. I don't think the artist should have anything to do with it shouldn't mean that they agree with everything that the person they've done the art for, it doesn't mean that they like completely agree on everything, right? But that's just how things are right currently within the VTuber space, which I wish would change. But of course, that's just how it is, right? So again, maybe they were afraid of that as well, just kind of being like, like attacked on Twitter, essentially, for taking in a commission from someone, right, who is obviously quite controversial with some people, right? Lots of people have been replying to this as well, saying for the specific artists who pull these kind of antics and later try to justify it, you're in the right to reject business for sure, but I want to ask you a simple question. What are your opinions on the on Bake the Cake Bigot? Or how are you going to reconcile for the fact that people you act like this and on the flip side get upset of seeing more people use AI? Are you helping artists or are you making it worse for artists as a whole? Do you understand this is self-sabotage? So essentially what people are saying is, people do this, right? People decline services and they decline all of this kind of stuff. But at the same time, they also complain about the fact that more people are using AI to do their art and whatever. Because there's been a bigger, I would say, influx of people using AI to fulfill their art and do all of their VTubing assets and things like that, right? So people are saying like, well, if you're going to refuse this, you can't really get mad at them for, kind of going and using AI because they're being refused service. They're being refused, using a real artist. So a lot of people will just go, okay, well, I'll just go and AI generate this because a lot of the time it can be free, maybe not free, but maybe, much cheaper than $500,000. I don't have to deal with an artist that, obviously won't accept me due to a conflict of ideals, right? So that's some of the conversations that some people are bringing up, saying, that's kind of why people are moving towards it. I think it's understandable, to be honest. I think I can see why people are moving towards it, because they don't like, interacting with some of the artists, right? Which, I think, that's 100% a point that people have been bringing up. People saying, conflict of ideals, could have just said, I'm not accepting this right now, but it had to be flashy, had to give a reason. I'm glad it did really. It furthers the divide. Don't be mad when people turn to AI. These freaks are creating the world, that world. They screw these artists. I hope they come destitute. Saying, why are you doing a call out post? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because being declined over beliefs is just wrong. It's artwork and your job. Learn to separate that from stuff with your clients, which, I 100% understand that, right? I think that 100% there should be, a separation between the actual person and their opinions and, just doing art for them, right? But of course, as I said, I can also understand the other side of, an artist being afraid of essentially being dragged on Twitter over it as well, right? And that's unfortunately what has kind of come from this, right? Saying, I've seen artists do stuff like this, then beg for work weeks later because they don't have money for food. Saying artists can decline their commissions, don't act like an entitled bitch, which obviously some people are going, against Mia there. Saying, imagine turning away 200 over some stuff that happened months ago. Mia, I advise trying some non-American artists on Fiverr. So yeah, obviously, people are just not so happy about it. Obviously, some people saying W artist, saying if we accept the conflict in ideals is a valid reason to decline an offer / commission, then by the same outlook, the bakery that declined the offer to make a cake for a gay couple was actually valid to do so due to a conflict in ideals. And yeah, I think that's also something that people bring up as well. And I think it goes into a bigger problem outside of VTubing, right? When people say that, they decline it based on ideals. They decline it based on the fact that they don't like what Mia has said and stuff in the past, right? But like, could someone who is essentially on the opposite side of that, right? Like that person says, like, say a gay couple comes in and wants to bake a cake, right? Would it be bad if someone was to say no because that doesn't reflect my ideals, right? That's kind of what people are arguing too, because, if it's on the flip side, well, surely it should work both sides, right? If one person can do it for one person, then another person can do it for another person, right? But again, of course, lots of people won't really, stick behind that argument, too. So it is very interesting. Saying, if we're talking professionalism, I don't think making a call-out post is the best call either. If they scammed you, sure, but just for declining a commission that doesn't align with them doesn't warrant that. That I'm going to call out the BS, face the consequences. Saying, look at it from this angle. At least they were being honest instead of hiding behind a corporate-approved response. Makes it easier to not request their business again. Said, yep, and same for others who've commissioned them, who would have commissioned them. Actions got consequences. Saying, why do you people always seem to commission the same people over and over again? Are you guys just engagement farming these rejections? There's like thousands of artists that make commissions without a peep lol. And it's like, no, but yeah, I think this is just a bad experience that she's had, right? I don't think she's like actively going onto VGen and trying to find people that would like deny her, right? I think she's just trying to find some art and just ran into someone who obviously doesn't want to make art for them, and gave that, you know, pretty extended opinion, right? So yeah, I think it's an interesting conversation, as I said, because it goes like beyond VTubing as well, right? Is there artists who do this? Why people use AI? I'm looking forward to seeing these idiots being replaced, right? And again, it just further as kind of people have, you know, further kind of added this into the AI debate that has been going on recently. Obviously, we had the debate with like Leaflet and her tool and whatever that was coming out. People have been saying like, you know, people have already been saying, what's the point in paying for like a PNG tuber or whatever when you can just use Leaflet's thing, right? And now people are starting to say it with VTuber art and things like that, right? And again, you guys know my opinion on AI and stuff like that. I think that if you use it, I don't care. Me personally, I don't use it because I don't think it looks that great at the moment. Obviously, you know, maybe it'll look great in 5 years time, right? But again, I don't really commission much art anyways, so it doesn't really you know, matter too much. But also at the same time, you know, I think people are free to use it if they want. It's something that's out there. You know, it's just more so, does it work, right? Because I see so many content creators that, for example, use like AI thumbnails and things like that. Personally, I don't think they work, right? I think people are more inclined to not click a video that has an AI thumbnail, not because necessarily they're anti-AI, they're just very cluttered and bad, right? But again, as I said, if that improves, then maybe that will change the case. It's more so on a case-by-case basis I base it off of, because some things it can be, you know, good at, some things it can be pretty terrible at. It just really depends what it's on, right? But yeah, I mean, that is essentially all there is with this kind of situation. I just kind of wanted to cover it because I thought it was interesting. Lots of different debates going on. As you know, you guys can make up your own mind what you think about this, whether you think the artist or Mia or whoever is in the right. Yeah, if you guys did enjoy it, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.